I'm here with Eric and Charlie Wettlaufer.
Hello.
Eric and Charlie.
Good job on the name.
These guys are with Good Nature. Good Nature produces and manufactures cold pressing equipment for juices. So how long have you guys been in business? And tell us a little about the history of your company.
Well, our father, Dale Wettlaufer, founded the company in 1976 and built his first cold press juicer out of his barn.
Okay.
And continued to do so and just grow and innovate with the industry as it continued to grow and innovate. He supplied tools that companies like Adwala and Naked, these founders of the industry, needed in order to supply quality beverages, and he just kept coming out with new ways that they could do that.
So he was selling to Jimmy Rosenberg back in the 25 years.
Yeah. Yes, he was. He was selling to all those industry founders.
Interesting. Now, I met you guys. You came to our office. Yep. When was that? About 3 months ago?
Yeah, a few months ago.
And we broke the story about your new countertop cold pressing unit, which is a pretty innovative machine. Weighs about 75 pounds, is that right?
Yeah, it's about 75 pounds.
Yeah, and you can put it right on top of a counter.
That's right.
Which is pretty amazing, because have you seen some of these cold pressing machines? I mean, they are gigantic. I mean, you have ones that are humongous.
Yeah, yes we do.
Yeah, what are the sizes of some of the ones that are, like your X1 machine is pretty big
just
too.
for some perspective, the new machine that we just produced, that we just released, weighs about 75 pounds, and it's a countertop juicer, and it can make a few bottles at a time. Our largest machine you have to look up at like this, and it makes up to a couple thousand gallons of juice in an hour. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole range. The process stays the same. It's shredding and pressing, which is what cold pressed juice is.
Right.
And it's very small on the countertop, and it's just very large with the large equipment, but companies actually grow with our equipment because the process stays the same. They just get a larger version of it.
Right. Now, Charlie, you're in charge of sales. I think after our story, we heard that you sold 50,000 units. No, I'm just kidding. No, but how have sales been of the new countertop machines?
It's been great. It's been received very well,
Yep.
both domestically and internationally. We've had our offices selling them in Sydney, Australia, and our other office in Seoul, South Korea is also selling it. And we're getting the CE certification soon, which will allow us to sell it in Western Europe as well.
Okay.
And we've got several units out there domestically that people have been using in restaurants and juice bars and cafes, and we've got nothing but positive feedback.
Where has been most of the units sold at this point? What retail channel?
In the U.S. So
I guess I should clarify. Are they sold at, is it cafes? It's all food service for the most part. Is it cafes? Is it juicing
it's basically any businesses that wanted to add juice as a product but didn't have the space to have a juicing facility, or they couldn't afford the equipment. And that's where the countertop is really breaking into the market. Is those companies that want to offer juice but can't necessarily build a juicing facility.
Right. Now, when you guys came to our office, you said something pretty interesting, which was that you're seeing so much demand come from the Far East at this point. Folks who had come to New York, come to LA, bought some cold pressed juice and say, hey, we want this in our country, we want this in our region. Is that still the case right now? Are you still selling quite a bit of machines, or a lot of machines to the Far East?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's still growing. Regions like Japan and Korea and China are just now really starting to learn about cold pressed juice and learn why it's premium juice and it's more expensive and why it's better for you. And it's starting to become a trend now, and trends happen very quickly in Asia. So we're excited to see how it's going to take off in the next couple of years.
Now, the manufacturing of these machines is a pretty daunting task, I'm sure. The engineering of these cold pressing machines is pretty tough. How long does it take to actually, what was the development like, and how long does it take to actually put this all together?
So I've been working on this project for 3 years, and we started
the countertop machine.
The countertop machine, yep. And the idea came about because we saw that there's no realistic way to do cold pressed juice commercially on a small scale. You either have to buy a machine that weighs 400 pounds and build a special kitchen around it, or make inferior quality juice at a smaller volume.
Okay.
So we started to explore what are the limitations of cold pressed juice and what problems do we have to solve in order to be able to supply these customers with the tool that they need to run a business. So that was about 3 years ago, which is really when things started to pick up, and we just been working on it ever since, and now we're expanding. We're in production now, so now we're building a production facility out and getting ready to service these things around the world and to supply the certified compostable press bags around the world. It's been just quite a journey.
Now, what's interesting is these machines aren't necessarily inexpensive. I mean, relatively inexpensive considering all the range of machines that you sell. I think the price was about $16,000 for the countertop, but the return on investment is pretty quick. I mean,
It's very fast,
So tell us a
yeah.
little about that.
Yeah, if you actually sit down and work out the numbers, even if you're only selling 20 bottles a day, the investment pays for itself within a few months. If you're adding that product to whatever offerings you already have.
Including ingredients?
Yes, including ingredients.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, we have experts in cold pressing, I can't speak today, in cold pressing juice manufacturing equipment. And to extend the shelf life of some of these cold pressed juices, you need to HPP them. It's a good segue
Good
for our
segue,
next,
yes.
good segue for our next guest who's an expert. But guys, really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thanks a
appreciate
lot.
it.
Yeah, thanks so much. Good
Thank
to see you
you.
again,
Good
Ray.
to see you again. Enjoy the rest of the show. And just pass all the mics to
Yeah,
our
great.
producer over here. Thank you.